you just get capped as a media company. And you see it, like, if you want to look at in the reverse way, is you look at how a venture capitalist talks about it. Media companies have 3x revenue evaluation. Software companies have 10x evaluation. And they just look at their little rule of thumb.
Yeah.
Like, which one are you? Okay, let's multiply your revenue. Well, before we were working with Medium's content management, medium.com. And so that like hit a limitation where they were putting paywalls on stuff and pop-up account creation ads and all this kind of stuff where like it's creating value for other people that aren't the writer or aren't the publisher. So there, there's like that trade-off of like just providing experience that doesn't have the negatives, that doesn't have the tracking Google ads and stuff like that, where you're like, hey, those are softwares that are like, I understand why they exist. It's just not for me. So, that, and then even if you're looking at like, hey, I'm going to go build on Ghost or WordPress, it's like, it became a matter of your directions are limited. You can't just like, you can put a plugin in, but you can't control the way a page works. You can't control the way data flows. You can't control, even something, look at emoji reactions. It's like, how do emojis get stored? How are they floating around? How do they aggregate? Like once you own the system, you build the system, you can control the different ways it works. So there's just like, you're just only going to get so big. Why does the New York Times have such a large tech team? Their tech team is massive. Their tech is all built exactly for what they want. And they have billions of dollars, over $1 billion a year in subscriptions, so then that's like an online experience they've created. So you just get capped as a media company. And you see it, like, if you want to look at in the reverse way, is you look at how a venture capitalist talks about it. Media companies have 3x revenue evaluation. Software companies have 10x evaluation. And they just look at their little rule of thumb.
Yeah.
They're like, which one are you? Okay, let's multiply your revenue. So there's like that rule of thumb valuation, and it's real though, because we could take our content management system and build 50 more sites, because it's our software, and it's not the same as, hey, we're going to take WordPress and white label it and say it's Smooke Press. And now we have so there's a level there of like, what are your actual growth paths? And like software is something like with the Noonies is a voting software we built. And, now we're going to put it in more types of voting locations. And we build it, and now we have a software and allows people to vote on different items and like securely vote and track votes and that stuff. So there's an element of how do you grow? And sometimes with software, it allows you to be horizontal, as opposed to just saying, I'm just building hackernoon.com.
Yeah, that's fantastic. And just on the point around the inline emoji reactions, when I was reading about that, I thought this is really cool. And this is where you can actually, maybe you should explain it. Could you explain, what?
So we built some pixelated emojis, because we love 8-bit stuff and just kind of the ode to the old internet. And these emojis, you can react at the story level or the paragraph level or the word level. So you can just highlight some text and react to it. And then you kind of get, what we're trying to get towards is how can a reader convey value to the writer in the least amount of work? So, as you look at saying, hey, I could like it, and you click one button at the top and you don't know what section of the content they liked. So actually getting the reactions to where the content is in the story is much more valuable information to share with the writer and share them specifically what resonated in the story. So just like, on the opposite side of it, looking at where they drop off the story is, also very useful information, or where they provide a thumbs down. So we kept the thumbs down in as one of the 4 default reactions. And it was mainly because like, what do you say if someone has a grammar error? What do you say if you disagree? We don't want people to use it to hate on people. So we didn't put it at the top of the story. So that when you first get to the story, you can't say it's negative because you haven't read it. But if you get to a part where you're actually reading, you can give, a thumbs down and a negative feedback. So like figuring that out was kind of fun, of just like, how do I not be the platforms I hate?